Today we want to talk about rounding. Rounding is finding the nearest 10, 100, or 1,000 that is closest to the number you have. I kind of like to use the rule 5 to the sky and 4 and below, let it go. And we're going to look at how that works out. We want to take a look at just one number, 5,426. And we're going to round it to the nearest 10, to the nearest 100, and to the nearest 1,000, thinking about this 5 to the sky, 4 and below, let it go kind of rule. Let's first look at 5,426 rounded to the nearest 10. When I say 5 to the sky, 4 and below, let it go, what I'm really saying is I want to look at the digit in the ones place to determine what happens to the digit in the tens place. If it's 5 or above, that means it's going to be closest to the next 10. If it's 4 and below, I'm going to take it down to the smaller 10. So when I look at this, 5,426, a 6 is definitely greater than a 5. So I'm going to say, this is going to round to 5,430. And I can see that on my number line. When I'm looking at my number line, I have 5,420 here, 5,430 here, and here is 5,426. It's a little past halfway, which makes it closer to 5,430 than to 5,420. 5 to the sky, going this direction, 4 and below, let it go. Let's look at the same number, 5,426, rounding it to the nearest 100. If I'm going to round to the nearest 100, that means I'm going to look at the digit in the tens place, therefore the 2, to determine what happens with the digit in the hundreds place. Well, again, going back to 5 to the sky, 4 and below, let it go, when I look at the 2, I can see, well, it's smaller than 5. So that means this will go then and stay, let it go. That hundreds place will stay the same as it is. So 5,426 to the nearest 100 would be 5,400. When I look at it on my number line, I can see it very clearly that it's closer to 5,400 than to 5,500. 5,400 is here, 5,500 is here, 5,450 is halfway, 5,410, 5,420, oh, right here is 5,426. It's definitely closer to 5,400 than to 5,550. Let's look at the same number, 5,426, and let's round it to the nearest 1,000. When I look at this number to the nearest 1,000, I'm going to look at the digit in the hundreds place. This time it's the 4, to determine what happens with the 5. I'm really kind of asking myself, is 5,426 closer to 5,000 or is it closer to 6,000? Well, 4, again, 4 and below, let it go. So my 5 will stay the same, and I'm going to say, well, this is closer to 5,000. When I see it on my number line, 5,000, 5,100, 5,200, 5,300, 5,400, just a little past 5,400 is 5,426. 5,500 is the halfway point, which would tell me that it would round to 6,000. It's not to the halfway point, so it does round to 5,000. When we're rounding, we are finding the number that is the nearest 10, 100, or 1,000. It's like asking myself, is 5,426 closer to 5,420 or 5,430? Is 5,426 closer to 5,400 or closer to 5,500 if I'm rounding to the nearest 100? And if I'm rounding to the nearest 1,000, is 5,426 closer to 5,000 or closer to 6,000? Remember the rule, 5 to the sky, 4 and below, let it go. And that should give you a pretty good refresher on how we round.